Hi everyone, welcome back to my craft room. If you're new to my craft room, then welcome. Today I want to make some pretty little vases out of these mason jars from Dollar Tree. I saw something similar on Pinterest. I don't know where it originated from. Stuff gets pinned all over the place. But I want to do something similar to that because I thought it was really pretty and really a simple project to do. So just going to take our lids off here. And we're going to give this a coat of, I'm going to use folk art chalk paint first. If you have some kind of primer that you like to use, that would be best, you know, if you're painting with acrylic on glass, because I want it to be this pretty sky blue color. I thought that would be really nice for spring. And so I'm going to put on some of this, what is this, white Adirondack home decor chalk paint first, since that sticks much better to glass than acrylic paint does. And then we're also going to fleck it with little flecks of black, and I'm just going to use some of this multi-surface black. You could use whatever you have. This is a satin acrylic, and you're going to need a toothbrush to do that with. But first I'm going to put a coat of some white paint on here. We're going to decorate the top too. I have one back there painted, but I can't pick it up to show you any closer right now because it's wet. So I figured I'd get at least one of these started. So you're going to want to use a sponge brush. That's the best way to do these. That way you don't see any brush strokes in these when you're done. And I just stick my hand in there and just, well, you can start smearing it around here if you want to get it spread out a little bit more. And then I just kind of tap it. And then it gives it like this little bit of texture to it. And you don't have any brush strokes, which is great. So I'm just going to put on one coat of this on this little baby here. I'm going to go all the way up to the top. And that way this is just mainly just working for like a primer for me, since I don't have anything else to use. I need to get some. I honestly do not have a primer. But this works just fine. I've put chalk paint on glass many times and it works pretty darn good. Obviously, when you get this done, you know, if you want to put like water in here and real plants, I would, you know, like spray this with some sort of a top coat to protect this paint so it doesn't get wet. But I'm just going to be using artificial flowers in here, so it really doesn't make any difference. Don't need to go to all that trouble. But if I wanted this like for outside or something, I would definitely give it a clear coat. And a lot of times I just use regular, just a cheap can of clear spray paint that you can get like at Walmart or something. It works just as well as some of the really expensive sealers that you can buy, you know, glosses or whatever you get at like Michael's or something that's like $10 or more a can. You can get it for a few bucks at Walmart. Just use a clear spray paint. So that's all I'm going to do to get this done. So after this dries, I will come back in here and we will get a coat of blue. I'm actually going to do two coats of the blue, just so I make sure it covers really good. Alright, let's get the rest of this tapped on here. And when you're doing the flecking though with the toothbrush, you're going to need like a rubber glove. Otherwise you're going to have paint all up underneath your fingernails. And there goes that faithful fire alarm like it does every time I'm doing a video. There's always something going on, hopefully nothing really bad. Sometimes it's just, you know, a fender bender and they call them out, but hopefully that's it, nothing major. Because these guys are just always busy. Alright, so there, that is my primer coat or base coat, whatever you want to call it here. And I'm just going to set that over here, let that dry. I gotta wash my little sponge out here. And then after that dries, I'll come back and show you how pretty that blue paint is. Okay, so now this is dry. I'm going to take this sky blue apple barrel paint and I'm just going to pour this right on here, which is pretty much the easiest way to do this. It's just to make a nice little line down here and then just pat it on. And I'm going to do this whole thing. I don't bother doing the whole bottom. I mean, you can if you want to, but I usually just leave that alone because you're never going to see it. But if you want to finish it off nice, you can do that too. And then I'm just going to keep doing this, and I'm going to put two coats on here of this pretty blue. And then we're just going to let that dry. You just want to make sure that you let the coats dry really good in between, because if you don't, that's a lot of times people, you know, always tell me that they have a problem getting the paint to stay the second coat, but you got to let that dry really well. Otherwise, you're just going to, you know, lift it up if it's still a little bit damp. So just make sure it's good and dry in between coats. And that's it. That's just how easy peasy it is. And it looks real bumpy when you first do it. I don't know if you can see all the, there you go. And you can see all the bumpies in there. But once it dries, this one here is nice and dry. And it just has like a little bit of a texture to it, not much at all. So that's how pretty that looks when it's all done. I love this color. So I'm just going to keep doing this, and we're going to do another coat once this dries. And then we'll come back and then we can start putting our little black flecks on here. And we're going to add some jute string around the top of this. And I also found, I'll show you the little, they look like little gem butterflies that you can get at Dollar Tree. They usually in the Crafter Square section in a little bag, different colors of little gem butterflies and hearts that they always seem to have. So that's it. You're just going to go around there and do that. And once we get the 2 coats on here and it's dry real good, then we'll be back. Alright, this is all nice and dry now. I love this color. Isn't that a pretty, pretty color? Now, I did fleck the other one. We're going to do this one here now, exact same way, but I did this one with black, and it's really cool looking. But I think I'm going to try on this one, the one I just did in white, to see how that is. But isn't that pretty? And it almost feels like a stone. It's really cool. So I'm going to get some, let's see, I'll just use some of the Apple Barrel white here. This is a multi-surface. Either one of the Apple Barrel whites is fine. And I'm going to put that away. I just used some of this Apple Barrel black to speckle the other one there, or fleck, whatever you want to call it. Speckled. Kind of makes it look kind of like an egg. Maybe like a robin's egg or something. So I'm going to take my toothbrush. I did clean it, but it's still got a lot of black on it. And you're going to want to make sure you cover your area so you're not flecking paint all over the place. This I'm not worrying about because I'm going to change this mat out once I get done here, because this thing is really a mess. So I'm just going to use the lid part of the mason jar, the round part here, and I'm just going to put some paint right on top of there, which makes it a little bit easier to work with if you have it on something flat. So we're going to put some paint on there, and then I'm going to put on my glove so I don't have it all over my thumb here that I'm going to flick this with. And these are just the vinyl gloves from Dollar Tree, and this one's a really tight one. Come on now. I did put lotion on my hands too, so that's not helping. Alright, there we go. So you're going to take your brush, just dip it down in the paint, and then you're going to flick it from the front part back, because if you flick it the other way, you're going to flick it all over yourself. So you always do it from the front and pull it back. So it's just going to go like this and flick it. Oh, that's pretty. I like the white. Alright, so this one we're going to do with the white. I like it. I like them both. I just kind of want to see how, I mean, you know, how it was going to look as compared to the black. And you just keep flicking it. I get pretty close to it when I'm doing it. Sometimes you end up with, you know, some bigger spots or whatever, but it doesn't matter. It's just the fun little thing to do here. And you just flick the paint. And you can go back over it as many times as you want to. If you want more, if you want less, you can just do it really light and keep your brush moving here and do it light like this. Just keep flicking until you run out of paint. I'm actually adding a little bit more to this than I did on the black. I kind of really like the way this looks. Whoa, that one really flecked. That one kind of made a line there because it got away from me. But it doesn't matter. I mean, it's just not supposed to look absolutely perfect. Yeah, I'm putting a little bit more on here than I did with the black. I think it's going to look really cool. Oh, I kind of like how that's going like that there. Once you use the brush a few times, it holds a little bit more of the paint. And then you can kind of just keep going. But that's it. That's how you put these little flecks on here. And I think that looks really, really pretty. I love it. So there you go. And again, it's when it dries, it's going to kind of look like a stone finish almost. Or that's how it feels anyway. So this one I got a little extra on here. But however much you want or little, you just go around it one time. You have a little bit. But I think it looks cool. All right, enough talking about my flecks. So now I'm going to top this off here. I'm going to use, actually this jute string. You can use Dollar Tree jute string. It's much thinner. But I have this here that I got at Walmart in the crafts section. And it is the Hampton Art jute cord. It's 4-ply number 70. I use this on a lot of projects. It's a little bit thicker than the Dollar Tree stuff, and it's a lot thinner than like the nautical ropes and things, so this just works out great. And I want to do, hopefully I don't have a lot of paint here speckled around. Let me wipe this real quick. Here we go. So I'm going to take this one here that's already dry, and we're just going to start down here on this bottom lip and work our way up. And I'm going to just wrap this with this jute. Now, I don't know what I want to be my front. I really like to see the numbers on here too, but I may make like this the front. So we're going to start back here where the numbers are. And we're just going to, let's see which way I want to do this. Put a little bit of glue here on that lip. I'll show you here in a second exactly where I put that. Right above this first lip here. And then I'm just going to keep going around and around and around. And you don't have to glue every inch of it down, but you know, every so often add some glue. And then once you get back to this part, it's going to really glue itself together really good once you start gluing on top of the first piece of jute string that you had there. And we're just going to keep going up. And that's it. Easy peasy. Oh, that piece got to get cut off. All right. Just want to make sure these are nice and together so I'm not seeing any of the blue under there. Let me cut that scraggly piece off of here. You get quite a bit of that with the jute string. There we go. And then you just go up and over your first round here that you started. And I'll do the other one off camera because I'm going to do them both exactly the same way. So I'll get this one done here, and then I'll just show you how that one looks when it's done. And I got to wait for that paint to dry anyway. Now, I was going to use that butterfly on here that I showed you guys before, but I've changed my mind. It really does not go well with this. So I dug into my stash of things over here, and I found this jar of buttons. These come from Dollar Tree. A lot of times they'll have these like on an end cap or something, but they are the crafters in the crafter square section too sometimes. I mean, every Dollar Tree is different. You never know where you're going to find some of this stuff. Actually, sometimes I've seen these, you know, by the registers where you're checking out. But anyway, I picked out a few different pretty buttons out of there that I'm going to use. Instead of those butterflies, they were just a little bit too big, and they just really did not go. So, change of plans. Sometimes you don't know until you get these things almost done exactly how they're going to look. So all right. Get down there. All right, so I'm going to cut this right here and get that end glued in right here. There we go, and that is just the top of the little jar here. And I think that looks very pretty on there. So then I decided to make a bow using the jute string, but I'm going to use the jute string from Dollar Tree just because it's thinner. And I made a bow like this. I'll put this one on the other one, but real simple, just a regular bow. This is the jute string from Dollar Tree, and somehow I ended up getting the top piece that comes out the middle and the end piece unraveling at the same time. I don't even know how I did it. But anyway, you're going to double it like this. So you have 2 strands here, make it pretty long, and then we're going to double it over again so you have 4. And then we're just going to make a pretty little bow. Just going to fold it up like that. I always just wrap it around, get out of there, wrap it around my thumb, and then just tuck them in. Really easy. And that way all your stuff's facing the right direction. And then just mess around with it till you get it to the size you want. I want to try to make these about the same size. So let me compare here. A little bit too big. I think that looks about the same. Close enough. Alright, and then you're just going to cut off your ends. However long you want to make them. I didn't want them real long. But there we go. And then once you get on there, you can like separate these if you want to make it more of a fancy looking bow or whatever. So we're just going to glue this right here. I don't want it right in the front, so I decided I wanted this right here to be my front. So I'm going to put it just off to the side. This will be my front, and or however you want to set them. It doesn't matter. So we're just going to glue that little bow right there, like so. And then we're going to pick a pretty button to go on top of that. I have picked out these orange ones. There was a lot of pretty colors in there. I got this orange one here, and then I picked out these 2 yellows. I think maybe I'll do this one with the orange and put a yellow one on the other one. I think that, whoops, that'll look cute. Hopefully I don't drop this once I get the glue on it. There we go. And I'm just going to put that right on the center of our bow, like so. And I think that looks adorable. Alright, so that is it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab a bunch of flowers to put in these. I'm going to do some spring ones. I may put some of those really pretty daisies in one too that I picked up at Dollar Tree on Friday. I love the colors of those, so maybe I'll do one that's more springy, and then we'll have one that's more for whenever. But you could put anything in here. This would make a great the color for summer, you know, for a nautical theme or whatever. But that is it. That is all I'm doing to make these pretty little vases. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to wait for that to dry. I'm going to grab me a bunch of flowers. These are those pretty daisies I found at Dollar Tree the other day. So many pretty different colors. I may just put a little bit of everything in one of these. Aren't they pretty? I love the colors of these. And then they have the white ones and the purple ones. And there's a blue one in here somewhere. Oh, and this green one, I absolutely love this color. This is just so cool. So these are definitely going in one of these. So I'm just going to cut a few of these off of each one, see how long I want them, and then I'll put them in the vase and show you guys after I get that one done. Alright, here's the one I just finished. I put those daisies in this one. I couldn't wait to try these out. This looks so darn cute in here. Look how pretty they look. And my bow got hidden a little bit. The other one I did here, I actually lowered it and put it all the way underneath the first row. But that's okay. It's going to be up on a shelf, so you'll be able to see it. Whoops, I don't even have it in frame here. It'll be up on a shelf, so you'll see the bow that way. But they look so darn pretty in this vase. Alright, so that is that one. Now for this one with the white here, I like them equally. I can't even tell you which one I like better. So this one I'm going to keep the numbers on the front. I thought that would be fun. And then I'm going to take some of these lilacs and some of these daffodils, and I cut them off. I kind of measured it so they would stick up there, and just took my wire cutters and cut the ends of them off. I'm going to stick this right in the middle for now, and then I'm going to hook this together with some floral tape. You get this at Dollar Tree too, just to hold these together. And then we're going to mix these all around in here. So let me do this. I'm going to do this way down low here. And I pushed most of my leaves up, so you have some leaves sticking out. These I did not. Get up there before I tape you. Alright. And just wrap some floral tape around there just to hold those together a little bit while I'm messing around with them here. There we go. So now I can pull these all apart and mix and match them here. Alright, let me separate these a little bit. And then I want one of these blue ones back here. And we want a blue one over this way. Just going to separate these so they're not all the same. I'm going to leave one in the middle. We'll pull this one up towards the front. And you can rearrange these as many times as you want because we're not putting these in anything. We're not sticking them in foam or anything. Alright, so we have those. Now we need to get our little daffodils to show up pretty here. So I want some of those there. I want some of the yellow ones over here. That's what's great about fake flowers. You can just put them where you want them. Let's see, and here's another orange one here. Oops, we're tangled up. There we go. We'll pull this one out here, bring a yellow one over, move that one over here, and just mix them all up together here. Oh, I need some more yellow ones on this side. Let's see. There we go. Pull that one over there. I'm just going to kind of squeeze these together real quick and set them down in here and see how they look. They might be just a little bit too long yet. I might have to trim these bottoms off just a hair more because I don't like them sticking up that far. But I can do that later. Just a little too tall for this. But yeah, aren't they pretty? Yeah, you got to get them separated. You can't just put them in a bunch. Then they really look weird. And some of these leaves are a little bit too long. I think I'm going to trim those off too, which is not a big deal whatsoever. Just going to make another point over here and make them smaller. Don't like them quite as long as they are. There you go. Those are fine sticking up there. This one I might do too. There we go. And the ones in the back I will leave long. I think I want this little guy over here more. So let's bend him over this way and switch our daffodil around. There we go. Like I said, you can rearrange these as much as you want, but that's it. That's all I'm going to put in this little one here. I am going to cut it a little shorter. I'll do that before I take a picture of these at the end here. But that is it. That was my little project for today. Really another quick and easy DIY. But thanks so much for watching, everybody. I will see you all next time. Have a great day, everyone.